Okay, imagine this. You walk into a huge sports bar, right? Dozens of screens everywhere. Maybe they're all showing different games. Maybe sometimes it's one massive picture. Or picture a big corporate boardroom, high-stakes meeting. You've got presentations, video calls, maybe live data feeds. And all of that needs to pop up instantly on the right screen. No glitches, no waiting. How do they even do that? How do you get the right picture, the right sound to the right place like now? Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a really interesting piece of tech that makes all that complexity seem, well, almost easy. It's the WolfPack 1080p 16 by 16 HDMI Matrix Switch. And it does video walls, scaling, separate audio, lots of stuff. Our info today, it comes straight from the source, the product details from HDTV Supply, the folks who made the WolfPack. We've got the specs, the features, how it's used out there in the real world. So our mission really is to unpack what this thing actually does, how it changes the game for complex AV setups, and why features like, that super fast switching and the modular design, why they matter even if you're not an AV pro yourself. We want to show you how the techie details actually make things easier and look way more impressive for you, the viewer. Okay, let's get into it. So maybe let's start right at the beginning. For anyone listening who isn't quite sure, what is an HDMI Matrix Switch? It sounds important. Like a traffic controller for video.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to think about it. It's basically the central hub, the brain, for all your video and audio gear. Instead of, plugging and unplugging cables all the time to get your DirecTV box or your games console or a Fire Stick, Apple TV, whatever, to show up on a specific TV or projector, this box lets you route any of those inputs to any of the outputs.
Any to any. Okay.
Right. Or even send one source to lots of screens at the same time. It takes what could be a total mess of cables and frustration and puts it all under control from one spot.
That alone sounds incredibly useful.
Yeah.
But you mentioned this WolfPack one is modular. What's that about? What does that mean, like, practically, for keeping it running?
Yeah, the modular part is really interesting, especially for reliability. So this is a 16 by 16 system. That means 16 inputs, 16 outputs, and it's built using cards. 4 input cards, each with 4 HDMI ports, and 4 output cards, same deal, 4 ports each.
Okay, like building blocks.
Exactly. Now, here's the cool part. If something goes wrong with just one signal, maybe an input card fails, you don't need to rip out and replace the whole expensive switcher. You just swap out that one 4-port card. Much faster, much cheaper. And it's also hot pluggable, meaning you can pull out a card and put a new one in while the rest of the system is still powered on and working. Minimizes downtime, which is crucial in, say, a bar during a big game.
Oh, absolutely. Huge advantage. Okay, so reliability is one thing, but let's talk speed. You hear seamless switching thrown around. Most regular switchers, you get that annoying like 2, 3, maybe more seconds of black screen when you change the source. It's jarring. What makes this WolfPack different? How does it get rid of that?
Right, that delay is... Yeah, it's not great.
Right.
This system processes the live signals, simultaneously. It achieves switching in about 100 milliseconds.
Wow, 100 milliseconds. That's
0.1 seconds. Basically instant to the human eye. What you get is a clean video cut. Frame-to-frame switching. No glitches, no black screen, no blue screen, none of that weirdness.
So in that sports bar example, changing channels is just smooth, like watching broadcast TV.
Exactly. It keeps the flow, keeps the excitement. No missed plays because the screen went dark. And the engine doing this is pretty sophisticated. It handles things called EDID hops and HDCP handshakes. It does them at the same time for both the input source and the output display.
Okay, hang on. EDID, HDCP. Can you break that down a bit? Why does doing them simultaneously speed things up?
Sure. Think of ED as the TV telling the source device, hey, I'm a 1080p screen. I can handle this type of audio. It's like an introduction. And HDCP is the copy protection thing, like a digital handshake to make sure you're allowed to show the content.
Right, the anti-piracy check.
Exactly. Normally, a switcher might do the EDID check, then the HDCP check. That takes time. This WolfPack does both at once, cuts down the delay dramatically. It also uses something called a frame buffer. It sort of holds the next picture ready, so when you switch, boom, it's there instantly.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like having the next slide ready in a presentation.
Kind of, yeah. And it's also up to date, supporting HDCP 2.3 and HDMI 2.0. That's important for, the latest 4K players, new DirecTV boxes, things like that.
Got it. So super fast, super clean switching, that's a big deal. But what about going bigger? Simple switching is one thing, but those massive video walls, how does that work?
Yeah, that's another really powerful feature here. how do you make, say, 4 TVs act like one giant screen? This WolfPack actually has a video wall processor built right in. You don't need a separate, expensive piece of gear for that.
Oh, interesting. So it's all in the same box.
Right. You use its Web GUI, that's just a web page interface you access from a browser to set it up. You can tell it, okay, take these 4 outputs, treat them as a 2x2 wall, or maybe 9 TVs for a 3x3, and display one big, seamless image across all of them.
Can you mix and match? Like, show the big game on the main wall, but maybe some stats on a smaller screen nearby.
Absolutely. You can configure it to show one large image or even multiple individual pictures across the different screens that make up the wall. Very flexible for dynamic displays, digital signs, that kind of thing.
Okay, visuals covered switching, big walls. What about sound? Is the audio just stuck with whatever video it came in with? Or is there flexibility there too?
Great question. Audio is, half the battle.
Right.
And yes, this system offers separate audio handling. On the input cards, there are 3.5mm audio jacks. So you can bring in audio from a completely separate source, maybe background music from a media player.
And embed it.
You embed it onto the HDMI stream. Then on the output cards, you can de-embed the audio. So the TV shows the video from, say, input 1, but the sound system plays the audio you piped in separately.
Ah, so a restaurant could show sports replays silently on some screens while playing their own music playlist over the main speakers.
Precisely. That kind of flexibility is huge for places like that, or fitness centers, retail.
Yeah.
Saves needing extra audio mixing gear. It simplifies the whole setup quite a bit.
That is clever. Okay, another common headache. Different resolutions. What if you've got, I don't know, an old DVD player sending out a lower res signal, but it's going to a brand new 4K TV? Does it just look bad?
That is a classic problem, yeah. You'd normally get a blurry or stretched picture. But the WolfPack has hardware scaling built into the cards themselves.
Hardware scaling, meaning?
Meaning there's dedicated processing on each card to resize the video signal. You control it using these little 8-pin DIP switches on the card, tiny little switches. You can set it to upscale a lower resolution source to match a higher res display, or downscale if needed. It makes sure the picture looks as good as possible, adapting the signal to fit the screen properly.
So it cleans up those mismatches automatically based on how you set the switches.
You set the switches manually to tell it what to do for that specific output. Yeah, it gives you that control to ensure a good picture. Just worth noting, though, while you can adjust image size and color in the standard matrix mode, this specific scaling function isn't for the video wall configuration itself. That's handled a bit differently.
Okay, understood. Now, this thing sounds incredibly powerful. Professional gear. How do people actually, use it day to day? Is it complicated? Do you need an IT wizard on hand?
Well, control is obviously super important, and they've covered a lot of bases here. It's actually designed to be pretty flexible. You get dedicated apps for iOS and Android. So iPad, iPhone, Android phones, tablets, even Amazon Fire stuff. That makes it easy for staff in a bar or restaurant, for example.
Apps. Okay. What else?
There's also a free Web GUI. That web interface we mentioned works on any browser. Plus, good old-fashioned buttons on the front panel for quick changes, and a standard remote control. And for the more integrated setups, it has RS-232 serial ports and TCP/IP network ports.
Oh, so it can talk to other automation systems, like Crestron or Control4.
Exactly. That's what those ports are for. It allows the WolfPack to be part of a bigger smart control system in a conference room or a high-end home theater. They provide drivers for all the big names: Crestron, Elin, Control4, URC, RTI. Makes integration much simpler for installers.
And what if you're a real AV pro and want custom control?
For them, there's even an RS-232 script protocol. They can write their own drivers if they need something really specific. The source material even gives an example. It says, if you want to switch input 8 to output 1, 8, and 16, the RS-232 command would be 8x108 and 16, then a period.
Specific.
Yeah. Very precise. And the system talks back. It replies, okay, if the command worked, or ERR, if you typed it wrong, instant feedback.
Okay, so control is well covered, from simple apps to deep integration. With all this capability, where do you actually find these WolfPack systems being used? What kinds of places?
Oh, the list is pretty long because the core problem managing lots of video sources and screens is so common. You see them in sports bars, restaurants, of course, bowling alleys, gyms, shopping malls, churches, data centers.
Data centers? Really?
Yeah, maybe for monitoring multiple server outputs. Gaming rooms, nail salons, country clubs, casinos, factories, conference rooms, schools, and sophisticated home theaters, too. Our sources suggest it gets chosen because it packs in so many features compared to competitors in one unit. It simplifies things.
Makes sense.
And what about keeping these things running reliably, especially in a commercial setting? Downtime is just not an option, right?
Absolutely critical, and reliability seems to be a big focus in the design. We already talked about the modular, hot swappable cards, which is huge for maintenance, but it also has a redundant power supply system.
2 power supplies.
Yep. If one fails, the other one keeps the unit running. That's crucial protection against unexpected outages impacting the display system. They also mentioned the fan uses oil-sealed bearings designed to be very quiet, which is nice. And the modular design itself helps with cooling and maintenance too.
And support if something does go wrong.
HDTV Supply offers a 2-year advanced replacement warranty, they call it WolfPack Care, and free lifetime tech support by phone, chat, text, email. That's pretty comprehensive. There's even a basic troubleshooting tip right in the docs. If it locks up, power it off, unplug everything, pull out each board and reseat it firmly, plug it all back in, and power up. Sometimes just reseating the connections can fix things. Shows they've thought about practical field support.
Right. Well, we have certainly dug deep into this WolfPack 16x16 HDMI Matrix Switch. It's definitely more than just a box with ports. It's clearly a really powerful tool for basically transforming how people manage and experience video and audio in complex places. You know, from that lightning fast, seamless switching, 100 milliseconds, wow, to the built-in video walls, the flexible audio, the wide range of control options, and then the whole modular design and backup power for reliability. It really seems built for both serious performance and keeping things running long term. Makes complex AV feel more manageable. So here's something to think about as we wrap up. You've got this one device that can handle 16 different sources, sling them around to 16 different screens, or even stitch screens together into one giant picture, all pretty much instantly. How do you think that kind of seamless, customizable visual experience might change how we all interact with information or entertainment in, say, public spaces over the next few years? What possibilities